Disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as financial investment or trading advice. All investments include risk, and you should do your own research or consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. Invest at your own risk. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Welcome, everybody. Today, we're going to cover Bitcoin, digital gold. Why? Because there's a lot of discussion out there in the market that we have hit the bottom for Bitcoin in March 2026. Many people have seen this chart, the daily chart of Bitcoin, with big bunch of green candles from a bottom of 66,000 to 74,000, and we're moving upwards. So everybody's calling for the absolute bottom in the bear market for Bitcoin. And I'm here to tell you guys, hold on. Don't be too hasty. Bear markets usually last around a year. And since October, we are in the fifth month of the bear market. If this is the bottom, it's going to be a first since the creation of Bitcoin. And I am putting the brakes on stating that this was the bottom. So, before you FOMO in, before you jump in, please watch the whole video. So as you can see here on the daily chart, yes, we have seen a bounce in Bitcoin, but it is just a small movement within the bear market. Plus, we have seen other signals that this maybe could be the bottom, like this headline: Bitcoin eyes 75,000, nearing 25% bounce since the February bottom. We are starting to see more and more headlines related to Bitcoin in this type of bullish sentiment. Please be careful. Yes, we have corrected quite a bit already, but we still have, in my opinion, a few months ahead of us to allow us to average in near the bottom of Bitcoin. Plus, something very, very positive for those who don't know, this is the strategy website where you can track their purchases, formerly MicroStrategy, ticker MSTR, one of the strongest Bitcoin companies in the world. They own 761,068 Bitcoin, as stated here, but in the last 2 weeks, they have bought 17,994 and 22,337 Bitcoin. Quite a big amount. Purchase prices around $70,000, so quite huge buys. That has supported the price for Bitcoin. Yes, there's a few players that continue to buy. Strategy has not stopped buying, and recently, due to Stretch, ticker is STRC, one of their products, they are able to raise a lot of cash. And once they raise a lot of cash, immediately, every week for the past few weeks, they have been buying frequently Bitcoin. And yes, if this STRC vehicle continues to be popular, Strategy will be able to raise a lot of cash and continue to buy more Bitcoin. So this is very positive, but also Michael Saylor has said that he will buy the top for a long, long time. So he is just averaging down his buys. He's buying every week or almost every week constantly. And overall, he's going to have a nice average of prices for all his purchases of Bitcoin within the company strategy. And I believe that he is near the average cost. Actually, you see it here. The average cost for Bitcoin is 75,696, and the price is just below that at 74,254 right now. Finally, to close out the video, to finalize the video, this is the chart of Bitcoin that you need to look at. It's not the daily chart, it is the weekly chart. And as you see here, this is the bear market. We have done a big correction, followed by a small consolidation, a bounce, a rejection, lower drop, consolidation, and an uptick in price. We are still within this downward structure. Therefore, we are not in a bear market type of scenario. At least, I don't believe it's too early within the bear market to do so. There's a possibility that we could trade sideways here for a few months. So we're going to be able to accumulate Bitcoin around this price, maybe even up to $55,000. That's what I think could be the range between 55,000 and 75,000, up and down for a few months. And maybe near the end of the summer, August, July, August, September, then we could start to see something more of a real bounce and end of bear market for Bitcoin. That's what we have seen so far. If for whatever reason we bounce quickly here and we're back to $110,000 in the next 2 months, then all previous history in bear markets for Bitcoin will be canceled and will not be identical to what we have seen. It would be completely new and most probably will catch a lot of people off guard. But because we have already corrected quite a bit, if you want to start accumulating Bitcoin, not financial advice, this region is less risky than here, and even less risky than here to accumulate Bitcoin. This video is mainly for newer investors or people who have started looking at Bitcoin but don't have enough experience to have that knowledge towards the bigger cycles of Bitcoin. This is what we have seen in the past, and that's why I say hold on. Don't be disappointed if we correct further a little bit still and this uptick stops suddenly. It could happen, and the probabilities of that happening are quite high actually based on history. So this is what I wanted to share with everybody. Put comments, put your questions in the comment section. I will answer to the best of my knowledge, but I just wanted to warn you guys, don't jump into Bitcoin blindly at this stage. We could still see another correction for Bitcoin and most probably a big consolidation period where we move from 60,000 to 70,000 for a big period of time. Happy investing, everybody. Ciao.